Hey guys, it's Daily, and today I have here the Razer Abyssus 1800 mouse and Razer Goliathus Speed mouse pad. Long story short, I bought this out of necessity because I need a new mouse. I've been buying Chinese knockoff mice off of Amazon for far too long, and I've just had enough of it, you know? Like, you may think to yourself, you're saving money by buying these mice, right? Because like, oh wow, 3200 DPI plus full RGB customization, wow, extra buttons, and only $12? It's a fucking steal. It's too good to be true. And yeah, it is too good to be true, because the one weak point with all of these mice, as far as I've been able to tell, is the fact that they're not built to last. The scroll wheels always give out. The mice themselves, like the left mouse button and right mouse button, tend to give out over time as well. So you're not doing yourself any favor by picking up these mice because they're cheap. They're actually very cheaply made, which is why they're so cheap. So I said enough is enough, and I finally graduated to a full-fledged Razer mouse, albeit entry level. I know that. You don't have to tell me. I am well aware that there are more sophisticated mice out there by Razer, but for what I need, this is perfect. I don't need anything over the top. I would appreciate if it did come with the extra buttons, but that's fine, you know? Like, I prefer functionality and form over bells and whistles. So like, you know, that's why this thing is so cheap, because it's very, very bare bones in terms of what Razer usually puts out. So there's no RGB customization, there's no side buttons, but it's just a very straightforward mouse. And it comes with a mouse pad too. And for 25 bucks, can you really complain? Like, I don't think you can. But a quick little preface before we get going. This right here is the true reason behind me buying this here. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Apple Mighty Mouse. And my god, this thing is a mighty piece of shit. It sucks so much. So, you know how Apple was back in the day, and I guess still now, how they were infatuated with the terminology known as unibody. Well, this is basically a unibody mouse, because as you can see, the left mouse button and right mouse button are all one piece. And at first glance, you might not think much of it, but when you get down to using this thing on a day-to-day basis, it becomes a pain in the fucking ass, because your right clicks don't register unless you're hitting the sweet spot every time. So even though you hear a click, like right now, even though you're hearing that click, it may not be registering because you're not hitting the sweet spot. So that adds a lot of frustration into something as simple as just, look, left click, right click, left click, right click, left, right, left, right, left, right. You see what I mean? So this thing is a piece of shit for that reason alone. That was the biggest fucking pain in the ass to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, the actual cursor speed with this mouse in particular is one of the worst I have ever had to deal with. This mouse is the only mouse I have ever used in my entire life where I've had to actually go into my system settings on Windows, crank up the mouse acceleration to max. The only mouse I've ever owned where I've had to do that, and it's still fucking slow. It's still fucking slow. So just imagine having to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. It's frustrating. It makes something as simple and intuitive as left click, right click become a fucking pain. It becomes such a difficult thing to do consistently. And so it becomes counterproductive. So like, this mouse, I have nothing good to say other than the fact that this scroll wheel was actually pretty good. Because, you know, it's it's a scroll ball more than it is a scroll wheel, because scroll wheels generally are just up and down. This is a scroll ball, and it allows you to go left and right and diagonally. So kudos to them on this one part of the design, but the mouse as a whole fucking sucks. I wish it burns in hell, never to be seen in the light of day again. And I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy. This thing fucking sucks. Good riddance. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video, which is the unboxing. We're going to be taking a look first at the Goliathus Speed mouse pad and finish off with the Abyssus mouse itself. So, upon first inspection, I can say this, that the surface they use for the mouse, or the material for the mouse surface, rather, is pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's giving me much resistance on my hand. You know, like I'm very effortlessly able to just slide my hand over, and that's generally what you want on a mouse surface. You want it to give as little resistance as possible to make your mouse sliding effortless. So kudos to them on the front side. Now, upon looking on the back side, we can see here that it's rubberized like most mouse pads are, but I will say this rubber feels like it's higher quality than most mousepad backings. So again, bonus points to them for putting forth the effort of getting good materials for their mousepad. So I'm very, very pleasantly surprised and impressed with the overall quality of the mousepad itself. But with that being said, my one gripe with that mouse is the fact that it's fucking tiny. This right here underneath is my day-to-day mousepad, my Sente mousepad that I use every day. So like, look, this thing is large and in charge, and will eat this thing for breakfast. So like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, look at that. Look at how tiny that is in comparison. And then, whoa, bam! Like, you know, I mean, I can't complain too much because it's like, it came with a mouse, so I don't know. But I wouldn't recommend you buying this set just for the mouse pad alone. If you were thinking of doing that, just go out there and look for a bigger mouse pad on your own. If you really did want to do that, that's my recommendation to you guys. So with all that being said, let's finally get into the last bit here, the mouse itself. So there is the leaflet instruction manual type thing over there, and I gotta feed the cables through, get the packaging out of the way, and you know what, let's test it out on the mouse pad itself. So I'm gonna switch hands here because I am a right-handed mouse user, and so yeah, so far what I'm gathering is that the mouse buttons actually feel very responsive and very springy, and that's good. You don't want them to feel like they're going to get stuck, and you definitely don't get that feeling with this mouse here. The scroll wheel, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any like sort of jiggle to it. There isn't much jiggle. It's been very securely placed, and it feels very good. Ooh, listen to the clickiness of the middle mouse button. That's pretty good. Not even gonna lie. And you know what? Bonus points to them for this coating. Because look at this. I'm actively trying to smudge it with my fingerprints, but it's disappearing before my very eyes. So bonus points to the coating that they use on this mouse pad. Because look at that. It's actively fighting to remove the fingerprints from my hands. Like, see, first it's there, now it's gone. That's amazing, actually. Good job on that, dude. I am actually very thoroughly impressed. So, that's my first impressions on this. The Razer Abyssus 1800 and the Razer Goliathus Speed mousepad. If you're tight on money and you want to get a good mouse, I don't think you can beat this. I'm hoping that this thing will last, and we'll find out in due time. But my first sort of, I guess, impression on this is that it seems like a very good product for the price range. I don't think you can really beat what they're offering here for the price range. And here's hoping it'll last, you know, because like that's really the only thing I'm worried about at this point. The products are made with very good quality parts and materials, so that's all I can really say. So, you know, thumbs up overall. Here's hoping it lasts. If something happens along the way and this thing just mysteriously dies out, you can expect a video on that. Otherwise, I guess you can just assume that it's still going strong. So I'll put out an update eventually. And with that being said, actually, I do have a follow-up on one of my older videos on the Nintendo Switch Hori pad. I can safely say now that after much use, it's still going strong. And again, it falls sort of into the same category as this right here, where it's like, for the money, it's very good. But if you have more money to invest in a product, by all means do, and go for the more expensive product, because you will get your money's worth, especially with Razer, especially with Hori. So good things so far, good things. The Hori pad's been holding strong. I hope that this will too. And with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, you know, subscribe, all that good shit. And take care. See ya.